So here we will learn how to create a radio button using Tkinter and TTK Bootstrap library. So this is the program. This will create the 3 radio buttons. So we can choose one option from these 3. So I'll run the program right now. Here I am using the IDE called as Tony. And before you start, you need to install the TTK Bootstrap library. So I'll run the program right here. And it will create a window with 3 radio buttons. These are called as radio button option 1, radio button option 2, and radio button option 3. So when you click on the radio button option 1, the selection is shown in the shell. That is the command line here. So I'll click on radio button option 1 and it will say option 1 selected, this one. And if you click on 2, it will say option 2 and option 3. In this way, you can select the option from the window. So this can be used to select an option that you only need one from one of the 3 options. So now we'll go into creating the radio button using Tkinter. Now we'll create a simple program and we will import the required TTK Bootstrap libraries. So here I am importing TTK Bootstrap as ttkb, and we also need to import the Tkinter. So import Tkinter as tk. Then we'll create a symbol window using root equal to ttkb.window and then root.main loop. So if you run this program, it will create a symbol window without any radio buttons. So this is the window. Now we will add radio buttons to this particular window. So in the first case, I will only add a single radio button. A single radio button itself does not have any utility. So this is just for demonstration purpose. First, I'll create a single radio button to show the syntax of the radio button in Tkinter. Then we will create a 3-button radio button in which you can select a single option. So you'll have to create a radio button variable. So we'll call it as radio button. So we'll be using the tk.string variable. So this button will contain the data returned by the TTK Bootstrap button when the user clicks on the button. So we have to create a string variable. So this is the string variable. So the data will be inside this radio button. It will show whether option 1 is clicked or option 2 is clicked. Now we have to create the radio button. So I'm creating a radio button called radio_button. Then we'll use the ttkb radio button class. Capital R, small b. Then we'll give the root. Then we have to give the text that will be displayed near our radio button. So we'll just call it my radio button. Now we have to give a variable which we will be using this one. And finally, we have to give a command. That is the name of the function that will run when you click the ttkb radio button. So command equal to now we also give a value. So that will be the value. So you have to give a value which is the one that is returned by the radio button when it is clicked. So this value equal to option 1 that will be placed inside the variable radio_button_ variable. So inside this particular command, that is radio button_clicked function, you can check which value is returned. So in this way, you can select which one of the radio button has been clicked. So we have to create the command right now. So we'll create the command here, def. So I will say So when you click the radio button, it will just print radio button clicked into the command line. And now we will have to pack the radio button so that the window will display it. I'll just say. Now I'll run this one. So we have a single radio button here. So when I click this radio button, it will say radio button clicked. So this is the value that will be shown here. So having a single button does not do anything, but I want to display how the syntax is created and how the data is given to the function. So here inside this one, you can also check the data that is being returned by the radio button. So for that one, you can use the variable, that is the radio button underscore variable, this one, and you can use the get function. So when you run this program, it will say option 1. See here, radio button clicked, option 1. So this value will be sent to this particular function, that is this one. So if we change it to something else, you can see the changes here if you run the program. So I click the radio button here and it will say option 3. The radio button clicked option 3. So from here inside this particular function, you can check whether the value you received using radio button underscore variable dot get is an option 1, option 2, option 3, and in this way you can select the variable which you want. So now I'll create 3 more radio buttons so that you can fully understand how the radio button works. So we'll basically copy this one. And we'll name it 1, radio button 1, radio button 2, radio button 3. Now the value that will be returned by the first one, that is the radio button underscore 1, will be option 1. This will be option 2. This is option 3. Now you can also change the name of the radio button. Let's change it as button 1 for simplicity. And this one should be button 2. And this will be button 3. And now we have to pack these radio buttons into the window. Now all these 3 radio buttons are actually using the same function when you click them. So both of them will be using the radio underscore button underscore click function here. And they are also using the same variable. So whenever one of the button is clicked, the code will go to this particular function. And from here you can check which radio button was clicked. So in this way, all these 3 buttons are linked to a single function. So I'll run this one. So we have 3 buttons right now. So I'll click on button 1. So it says radio button clicked, and the value of the radio button 1 is shown as option 1 here. So if we click on button 2, it will be option 2, like this one.